Gemini, and welcome back to your reading this month. Thank you so much for all of my two-faced friends who have joined me in our past readings, and I really hope that we help shed any light on any of the issues that you were going. And by the way, I do mean two-faced in the very best way possible, because Libra and Gemini are best friends, but Libra can be trash too. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with our reading, and we're going to see how we can help you this month, Gemini, and what we can shed a little bit of light on, not that you'd listen anyway. But we're going to go ahead and see where it is that we can help you. Alrighty, Gemini, so we're going to go ahead and start with your spiritual focus this month, which is actually the Knight of Pentacles, which to me tells me, Gemini, that you finally have the courage to work towards something that you have been meaning to do for a really long time, which almost seems a little bit vague to say, but there's something that you've been putting on the back burner this month, Gemini, that you really, you cannot ignore it anymore. There's something that is going to spark for inspiration in you. If it hasn't already, to go ahead and get started on that. It's just like maybe it's a long forgotten hobby that you really love to do, or maybe it's a project that's just been kind of collecting dust, for a little bit. But for me, Knight of Pentacles is telling me that you now have the ambition and the determination to move forward with a project or with something that you've really been, sitting on or dwelling on for just a really long time. All right, so your monthly focus this month is also going to be, funny, 10 of Rods, which to me is you just getting over it, Gemini. I feel like all of the self-doubt and everything that you've kind of told yourself, and which is going hand in hand with your spiritual focus, everything that you've told yourself this month, Gemini, for you to not pursue what this is. Now, this could even be a change in career. This could be you, Gemini, looking to get another job, or maybe a promotion, or voicing your, voicing yourself to get that promotion. But there's something here within your pride. Maybe it's moving, Gemini, for some of you guys, but there's something that you've been meaning to do that you have just kind of really been putting on that back burner. And for me, with the 10 of Rods, you're kind of done playing the waiting game. I really feel like you're just done kind of like shelving this and putting this aside. And this month, your focus is going to be on putting that to the close at the end of the close of this pattern for you, Gemini, which is really fantastic for you. It's great that you finally are just kind of putting this forward. I do want to draw one more card here, which is weird. It's like we're getting like all of it the same exact cards, but we do have the World card. So again, this is something that has to do with getting yourself out there, Gemini. So maybe some of you guys really have been kind of being shy about going out there and applying for that job. Maybe a lot of you guys are really dissatisfied with where you currently are right now, and you guys have been telling yourselves, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a new job, I'm going to apply somewhere else, and you really just have not been doing that. But this month, Gemini, this is you concerning you putting in all of the hard work and completing and kind of coming to the close of that pattern of you telling yourself all of the reasons in the world why you cannot accomplish X. So with the World card here is literally there to remind you here this month especially that this is not going to go away, and all of these ideas, all of these things that you have, they're only going to rot inside of you, Gemini, unless you actually put them to action, which is what I really feel like telling you here. Go and put yourself out there with the World card. Stop doubting yourself, stop doubting your own abilities, and stop giving yourself excuses, Gemini, and reasons for you to not do something. This is not the first time I've told you to do this, and I almost feel like the last two readings that I gave you revolved around you needed to carry out or to do something that you've been shelving for a really long time. So like I told Taurus, what the hell are you waiting for? So your monthly lesson is actually the King of Pentacles, and to me this has to do with managing all of your time responsibly. Gemini, you have the tendency to just kind of scatter yourself all over the place, and I'm getting major Taurus energy here too as well. So maybe some of you guys have just been a little bit stubborn or stuck on an idea a little bit to the point where you've just been so obsessed with it, and you only see that to the point where it's not allowing you to see other options that are presenting themselves to the point where it becomes impractical. There's maybe even be some of you guys have been just a little bit lazy here with the King of Pentacles, because I'm seeing just a lot of Taurus and that indulgence energy here from Venus. So it's like I feel like maybe you guys have just been really enjoying almost like life's pleasures and just kind of been having fun and neglecting all of your responsibilities, and maybe that has even been what's getting in the way of you actually accomplishing these things that you have set your mind to, Gemini, but that you've just forgotten about. So again, what are you waiting for here? King of Pentacles, again, stop scattering your energy and your time, and stop thinking about doing things, because thinking about taking action is not the same as taking action, Gemini. So you have to understand, thinking about making a change is not actually making a change. So you have to take that into consideration. So anything that you want to see, the ending of the cycle is not going to come until you realize that you yourself have to be the one to do that. You yourself have to put yourself out there and change up your routine, change up your habit, change the way you've been doing things, Gemini. Because so far, really, all that's doing is kind of taking you in the same loop and in the same circle of entertaining a lot of things, but actually accomplishing nothing, which you know? Okay, so positively influencing you is the Ace of Swords. So I feel like you've got the right idea here, Gemini. I feel like you finally have found that thing where you're just kind of like, okay, no, I got it. This is what I meant to do. This is what I should be doing. This is what I should be exhausting myself on, which is great. You have identified your inspiration. You know exactly what it is that you're going for, and you are vocalizing that. You're talking about that. Maybe towards people close, maybe people around you or close to you. You've really been like, hey, I've just got this really sudden burst of great idea, you know, and you've felt the need to talk about it, and you've been getting a lot of good feedback on that. Maybe people have been telling you, yeah, you really should pursue that idea that you've kind of been putting on the back burner for just a little bit, which is amazing. However, negatively influencing you is the Six of Coins, which to me tells me you're having difficulties balancing. Maybe this is something that's going to require a little bit of a financial exhaust from you, almost like you have to spend money to make money. And so far for you this month, Gemini, I really feel like you're struggling on the financial front and almost balancing that. Not even balancing that, almost feeling maybe what it is that you need is going to require some money from you this month, and maybe some of you might owe money this month as well, and maybe the money that you owe towards other people might be keeping you from doing what it is that you're trying to do. But responsibilities will be responsibilities, Gemini, and the fact of the matter is you cannot run from your responsibilities. You're not going to be able to neglect these things. You're going to have to deal with them, all right? And just like I tell everybody, so finding that balance this month for you is going to be a little bit of a difficulty, and I really do see you straining or fussing over money this month. Maybe some of you guys are even are in a situation or predicament where you're going to have to be supporting people or taking care of other people, and that's kind of putting a little bit of a dent on you financially. Or maybe some of you guys are, again, owe money towards something else. But whatever this is, I feel like you're using money or our finances are getting in the way of accomplishing your goals, which I don't mean to be brutal with you, Gemini, but I feel like the reality of the nature is that's your own fault. You're the one who kind of put yourself in that predicament, and you're the only one who can see yourself out of that, Gemini. So you're not going to see any of these changes, or nothing's really going to change for you until you really take that initiative and, again, put yourself out there. If you're not happy with where you are at your job, leave. It's time to start applying for other places if you're not happy, other places of employment. Find other means to make money. For some of you out there, this is a creative way. How can you use your creative means to make money? Maybe these are some of the thoughts that are on your mind, Gemini, and you're doubting all of these ways and all of these processes, but really sit down and think about these things, because I really feel like this is what's going to bring you satisfaction in the end. A word of advice to you here is with the Two of Rods, again, learn how to balance action with your mind. And what I mean by that is stop trying to be so scattered and stop being a yes man. This is a really big thing that I really feel like telling you, Gemini. Stop saying yes to everything, and stop filling your plate with so many things to the point where you're saying yes to all of these things. And I go back here to Ace of Swords. You're saying yes to all of these things, and you're making agreements and commitments to all of these things to the point where you're not going to be able to follow through with everything that you're saying that you are going to do. So be very careful this month, Gemini, and very selective with the things and the endeavors that you choose to take on, because you're not going to be able to fulfill all of them. So it is better to be honest and straightforward and say, no, I cannot do this right now, than say yes and let people down or disappoint people later. And this is really important for you, Gemini. Try to find that balance between what's intriguing to you and what excites you and what is actually practically what is within your own means or capability of actually doing, you know? So it's just like, I know you love the idea, and that's you, Gemini. You love the idea of something or a prospect, but the reality of the nature is something completely different to what you're idealizing in your own mind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do one channel message, and we're going to see what we can pull for you, Gemini. Really, what I feel like telling you is this is the time for you to rest. Rest on that idea that you've had. Think about that. This is not really a time for you to act, Gemini, but more of a time for you to weigh all of your options and to really carefully consider them and think about them. So I really feel like this Three of Swords energy that you're getting past, this anxiety that you're feeling really, Gemini, towards having to do something. Because I feel like this is really what's driving you really a lot this month, is you figuring out, oh my God, what do I need to do? What's my next plan? What's my next game plan? This is not really a time for you to act so much this month, Gemini, but more of a chance for you to sit down and think on that idea and think practically and think long and hard on that. Because it is something that you have been hoping towards and wishing towards, and this is about you having to think about and figure out how you can practically attain that for yourself. And the only way you're going to be able to do it is you need to focus on one thing, Gemini. Focus on that one thing, complete that task, and then you can move on to something else. Because if not, Gemini, you're just going to have this string of incompleted projects and things, and really you would have never have accomplished anything. So again, take the time and take the patience and the consideration to think about all of your options on the table and really carefully consider them before you actually make any decisions. Okay, Gemini, so I will go ahead and end your reading on that note. I do hope that that was a little bit helpful for you at the very least. We seem a little bit scattered, Gemini, but I mean, that's literally who you are. So I expect nothing less. So I hope to see you next month, Gemini, and thank you so much for watching. And until next time.